Yeah, I think they've done a great job of understanding the system. Us as a coaching staff, we kind of took a different approach this year where we slowed things down, right? Instead of trying to overload the kids and put 150 plays in from day one, we said, hey, let's take one or two concepts and spend a long time on those concepts. And once we get those down, move on to the next. So as far as where we are collectively as a group, I think we're in a great spot, and I think the kids understand what we're trying to do. And we'll see as we go on and we continue to add and game plan. But as far as our base offense, the guys have grasped it pretty well.
One of the biggest parts of that base offense is your sophomore quarterback. Not the biggest guy, not the most experienced guy, but how would you say Charles has kind of grown as summer camp has gone on, now going to pads next week? What makes him so special? I mean, obviously he's young, the inexperience, the size is a thing that people are going to see initially. But what really makes him kind of stand out compared to like other sophomore quarterbacks that you've seen and kind of worked with before?
Two biggest things is I would say his passion for the game and his confidence, right? He's a guy that from day one, he believed in himself that he could do it, and the passion and the exuberance he shows for the game is something you don't see a lot in young guys, especially today, right? You get a lot of guys that you're trying to bring the fire out, and he's a guy that you usually have to hose down because he's so fiery. We got to calm him down sometimes, but that's what you love, right? From a quarterback and from a football player, I want a guy that loves the game, that watches the game, that is going to spend every moment thinking of the game, because that's the guy that eventually is going to develop into a guy that potentially could play on Saturdays or, God bless, maybe even Sundays.
Right. What's that first big goal for you this season?
Actually, my big step is taking us to state, taking us to where we need it, and being the best person for the job and making sure I can do what the team need me to do.
How much responsibility do you feel you have with this team, considering the recent past, the winless season, the 17-game losing streak entering the year, right? How does that motivate you kind of going into the season?
It motivates me a lot because, last season, even for bar and freshman, we did not win a lot of games. But this year, I feel like we could, we can win games and do what last year couldn't do and win games, try to get us to a positive winning season.